This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Let's get right into the news. Well, Suge Knight, man, this last podcast he did with Dave Mays on they're on episode 4, Suge and Puff, right? So he's talking about when Pac lost his life, and he's talking about if you want to ask anybody about what happened out there, ask Snoop Dogg. He seems to know a lot more than you think. And I'm like, whoa. So this is, Snoop thinks he's cool with Suge. And he's like, Suge's misunderstood, man, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, he makes a lot of good points. Why is Snoop so cool with all the people that are accused of taking out Pac, right? Diddy being one of them, right? If they had Pac's back so much, why, are they so cool? Now, Suge also makes a lot of good points that, Snoop lies a lot. He was like, Snoop ain't bring Pac over to Death Row. It was Keisha. Keisha was Pac's wife at the time when he was locked up. The only person that's ever been, or the only woman that's ever been Pac's wife. Keisha Morris. And Keisha was the one, harassing Suge Knight to, get on the phone with Pac, and they started talking, and he got him out. Nobody else will put up the bail for Tupac. Then, he talks about, Pac did a lot of things for Snoop, even though Snoop was big. It was like, Pac was like the guy that was like doing a song with Drake in his prime, Even now, doing a song with Drake is good, but Drake can change people's lives, as we've seen with many rappers. So Snoop, that kept his. They had a great thing going at Death Row. It just felt like a family, even though it wasn't, And Snoop, was on Tupac's album, was helping out, was doing this. And then he said, there's that stupid thing where Snoop didn't go to the fight. But, it seemed like a plan because, I guess Dog Pound and Snoop weren't so cool with Death Row at that point, right? And, Daz skipped out in the fight. And there's all this footage out there. Daz skipped out in the fight, told Corrupt not to go because Snoop wasn't going. Or why are you going to roll with them? There's going to be a lot of Bloods there. We're not Blood. Then Warren G does all these interviews, and it just fills in holes in the story where Snoop Dogg had a Nextel chirp phone. I don't know if you remember those. The chirp phones, it's like a walkie-talkie. Those had come out that year. And Suge was like, why did he have a chirp phone when he wasn't with the security detail? The only reason you would have one of the chirps is if you were out there with us and we had security detail. So somehow he had one and pulled up on Warren G, and they heard a bunch of stuff over the chirp of I guess they had the construction chirps because those would be to everybody. And I don't know how it was hitting out there because it was new at that time. I don't know if it was going across the cellular network at that time. That was 96. They didn't even have digital. They didn't even have digital cell phones in 96. So I don't know if these chirps could. I don't know. Anyways, he's like, how did he have one of them chirps if he wasn't with us out there? That's the only time he would have had one. And then it turns out that, he talks about the KPD thing and maybe some of the stuff he's saying is true or blah, blah, blah. But then he says Snoop did a song with one of the guys that was in that car after Pac died. Bro, Snoop affiliates himself with too much of he just does what he feels like is best for him at the moment. He's kind of like Game in that sense, because when Game was down with G Unit, he didn't have to diss Nas or anything, but he could have just stayed clear of all that until he got his footing. I mean, yeah, he made his own name for himself and broke away, but nobody would have known of Game if he didn't sign to 50 Cent, because Interscope was about to drop him. Dre wasn't making it happen with him. They did him, but 50 Cent did a favor for Jimmy Iovine and them. But anyways, Snoop always comes out looking more and more suspect. You know, he's not the most stand-up person in the world. I mean, he's like best friends with Puff. Go Google Snoop Dogg and Puff. You'll see a million pictures of them together. And this is the guy that's accused of paying to have Pac clipped. For years. This has been going on for 2 decades. Longer than that. Like, come on, man. Snoop is something else, man. And granted, like, Suge Knight's not the best, the most morally straight person in the world. Because he did run over and kill somebody, right? But, I don't think everything he says is a lie. I think there's a lot of... I think he got power drunk during the Death Row days. But also, I think that, some of the stuff he's telling is the truth. Like, I'm sure tons of people lie now just for interviews. It's crazy. People lie so much just to be part of a story and to keep things going, I don't know. Music business can get real evil, especially when you're trying to be the top guy, obviously. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Episode 4. And then he also said, if Diddy's comes to my cell block, I don't want no head. I just want my toilets cleaned. Yeah, that was funny because, Diddy's got that suspect reputation out here. Anyways, this is Jordan Tower with JT News. Peace.